Hey guys, quick chat here. I want to talk about stress and one of the ways that we can sort of deal with that. Now, of course, there are many different types of stress, many different causes, many different reasons why we can be stressed, and there are, of course, going to be many different solutions or things that we can try to sort of deal with that. But I want to talk about one in particular. So I was on my way back from the dentist, and I'm kind of pressed for time here, so I'm going to try to get this out quickly. I found that usually when these thoughts come to mind, if I get them off very quickly, then I can flow authentically with what I'm trying to say versus setting up at my desk. And I have a couple things I need to do anyway, so going to try to get this out here. So anyways, dealing with stress. So one of the things that I talked about this in a recent video about certain questions that we should probably ask ourselves or that we can ask ourselves in life. And I found myself in so many situations where things were quite chaotic, stressful working environment, or there's things going on in my life, and I found myself having to ask myself this particular question to sort of get grounded again, to sort of recollect myself and put things into perspective and allow myself to get to a state in which I can sort of minimize that stress, minimize that worry. So the question is basically, why am I stressing? What is this going to, how is this going to benefit me? Me worrying about this situation, how is that going to benefit me? And asking myself those questions, I said question, but sort of takes several different forms. But asking myself that question or group of questions has allowed me to kind of sit back and reflect and realize that me worrying about how a situation is not going to help me change it. Me worrying about how much is going on, how much stress is going on, how much work is on my plate, that is not going to help me change it. What that's going to do is that's just going to physically kill me. So I chatted about this before on a video sometime late last year about how I was in this period where I was consuming lots of energy drinks, staying up extremely late. And after that period, I've noticed that when I'm at work, and this occurred for the first time during that week, when I was at work and things were getting a little bit chaotic, everyone asking for this or that, and you're trying to work on one thing, so much other stuff is going on. I was getting quite flustered, and I just kind of had to sit back and ground myself, because I noticed that when I was starting to realize these physical symptoms, these physical things that were going on, these little weird sensations in the head and all these things, and it scared the heck out of me, because I'm like, this is probably the result of stress. This is the result of all these thoughts just coming in, and me not taking control of them. So each time that started to occur, I began to notice those physical signs. I began to notice a little numbness or tingling feeling around the temple area, and I went and got my blood pressure checked, and not to go into too much personal detail, but they're like, that's fine. But through time, I have also pretty much also noticed that every time when this happens, that I can think myself into physical symptoms. I can think myself into these bad feelings, and I know they're not good. So we hear it a lot that stress can kill, and stress can have a huge negative impact on your body. Your stress and worrying can have a huge negative impact on your body, and it kills people. It kills people, and despite my current age right now, I'm still able to see those symptoms, those effects of stress. So it's one of the things that we definitely have to be careful about. We definitely have to be careful about with what we're allowing our minds to sort of focus on, and what we're sort of just staying in this moment of because of something may happen, and that we're continuously worrying about the situation that we're in. And it's really good to ground yourself, just sit back and ask yourself, how is it going to benefit you worrying about it? How is it going to benefit you? You're on your way to work in the morning, and this is one of the things that I have been able to sort of control a lot. And this is sort of like a practice for me, and I sort of enjoy the opportunity when it happens, because I get the chance to sort of practice this myself. So like this morning, for example, I was on my way to work, and there was an accident in this spot that there always seems to be one. And traffic was backed up. It took me probably 25 minutes to cover in an area that probably would have took me normally 2 or 3 minutes. And so at one moment I was starting to get flustered about it, but then I asked myself, I had to ground myself. I said, how is this going to benefit me? How is this going to benefit me in any way? How is cursing at someone else for being in an accident, or all these things, how is that going to benefit me? Is it going to get me to work any sooner? No, it's not. So, there's, these things happen, external things happen, things that are the fault of other people, decisions we've made that have put us in, fortunate circumstance situations. And, it's not to say that you should accept those things. I never say to accept negative outcomes. I never say to accept negative situations. I say that, if you're having these certain thoughts that are just not going to benefit you, that are going to harm you, that can harm you. Stress, like I said, stress and worry can harm you. If you are having these things that can harm you, then be very careful about that. And because they're not gonna make anything. They're not gonna benefit you in any way. So I had mentioned in another video that I had finished this book, Buddhism Without Beliefs, and I'm bringing it up a lot. I actually started reading another book on Buddhism, just sort of to learn about it. And it's been a very enjoyable journey so far, learning about what this is. But there was this particular line in it, and it's probably not talking necessarily about what I'm saying in this video. But when I was reading it a couple of weeks ago, and I covered these lines, I connected with them in relation to this topic. So there's this particular line that I want to share that, and I can show you how it ties in. So it says, "Why am I doing this?" Or, "We may consider the certainty of death and the uncertainty of its time, concluding with the question, what should I do?" So how I thought about that when I read that, how it sort of connected with this whole idea of managing stress or dealing with it is, what should I do? In this sort of situation when things are going crazy, just think about that. Ask yourself that question. What should I do? Or what can I do? Can you, like I said, if I'm stuck in traffic, can I do anything that's going to get me there any quicker? Possibly not. It doesn't necessarily mean you accepting it. It's just saying that, you have to be willing to see reality and to see when things aren't going to benefit you. And when you realize that, then you can sort of get back grounded again, get back connected with yourself, release that stress, release that worry, because that's not you. You get back in touch with yourself and you're able to get control of things again. So, and like I said, when you're in those situations where you got a lot going on in your life, you made bad decisions, or someone else has done something that, leads you to a negative situation, then ground yourself. Ask yourself those questions, what can I do? Is this worry going to benefit me any bit? And get into the habit of doing that. When you can get into the habit of doing that, you'll find yourself able to pull that question out of your pocket whenever it's going on. Just as I said I did this morning, just as I've done many times, you'll be able to pull it out of your pocket and apply it to your life. So I hope that I said something that can benefit you. Like I said, I got to eat. Just came from the dentist. A lot going on today, so I got to get back to work. So talk to you guys later.